So again, I want to welcome everybody out today to the free webinar series from Discount Medical Supplies and Discount Chiropractic Supplies. Now, what we're going to go through today is the Bioscan MSA and the Bioscan SRT software, and this is to help you optimize your patient results in your practice. Now, we have two main systems. The first system is the Bioscan MSA for meridian assessment testing. Now, what is the Bioscan MSA? The Bioscan MSA is a meridian stress assessment testing device, and IHT is the gold standard on EAV testing technology. They're FDA registered and 510K cleared, which is very important. Now, an EAV device that merges Voel's theory of conductance with Reykjavik's chart of homotoxicology can help you identify stressors to the body to customize nutritional protocols. And again, as it's an FDA Class 2A medical device used to assess bioimpedance measurements at Acupoints to determine stressed and weak systems or organs requiring support. So how does it work? Well, it creates a circuit like an EKG or an EEG using a highly sensitive ohm meter, and it measures the impedance, and you can see on the upper left hand there, we use what's called the EPIC probe. The EPIC is that point tester that goes through 58 points on the hands and the feet. And it's measuring the impedance of the continued flow of energy between each meridian point and the organs. And then it plots the collected data on the graph according to areas that are stressed, balanced, or weakened. And you can see that here in the middle graph up here. It shows you the areas that are weakened and stressed or balanced, balanced in green, stressed in red, and weakened in yellow, and then you can look over and match that up to the different organ levels within the body. Now, conductive points called acupoints correlate with acupuncture points located on the hands and the feet. These are traditionally associated with specific body systems. The system emits a very low current on various acupoint locations on the hands and feet, and again, 58 points in total. And then the Builtin O Meter is used to determine the functional status of the organs and systems associated with these meridian pathways by measuring the impedance of the current as it travels through the related meridian to the acupoint. The speed of the transmission is then correlated to a Voel reading of 0 to 100 and plotted on a chart that's easy to read. So then what happens? And you can see the chart here. It's plotted based on the organ level. Now, software program plots the data collected by the practitioner during the point testing, and it plots the data by organ and phase of health. It provides a colorful and easy-to-read chart for practitioners to discuss report of findings with the patient. The practitioner can also select and customize protocols for that patient from our electronic library within the program. Now, is it safe and effective? Well, yes, the Bioscan MSA is safe and effective for adults and children of all ages. Now, we don't support the use of this system on pregnant patients or those with pacemakers or other implanted electrical devices. The testing is objective, repeatable, non-invasive, and let me say that again. The testing is objective but highly repeatable and highly accurate. In fact, we have studies that show it's 99% repeatable and accurate, non-invasive, and can be performed by you or a technician in just a few minutes. We also make this a standard of care in our practice. So first of all, what does standard of care mean? Well, the Bioscan MSA system should be used on every patient that walks through your door as part of an overall health assessment and to provide a baseline for functional support of all organs and systems of each patient. Because if you're providing an exam for your patients, don't you want to know what nutritional support is needed for that patient as well? See, this is not your complete examination. This is just a tool to help you provide an overall health assessment for your patient. Well, why? Well, every patient can benefit from the Bioscan MSA system comprehensive organ and system analysis, and it objectively identifies the organs and systems which require nutritional support. Also, the part that practitioners really like, but more the patients, the historical comparison charts can help the practitioner and patient track results and new requirements for changing functional support. So you know whether your patient is following your protocol or not. So will my patient see improvement? Well, when you give the body the right nutrient support at the right time, patients see improvements quickly. The Bioscan MSA gives you the information to target the functional support required for that patient. You can be held accountable for the efficacy of your protocol by the results of the test from the Bioscan MSA. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over to Michelle, and she's going to go through a demonstration of the system for you. So let me just make her presenter here. Give us 1 second as we get this going. Okay, Michelle, you can now be heard.
Thank you, Dr. Siegel. When you open up the Bioscan MSA system, this is the main screen that you'll come to. You have the opportunity to either open a brand new visit and start a new test with a patient today, or you can do what I did in this case for the demo purposes and open a visit already created. On the left-hand side, you'll see a point reading tab, which leads you to seeing the points on this hand or foot that you're actually testing, so you can see where that point is located. And at the bottom, under point description, it shows you what that point correlates to. You have the opportunity to choose which stylus you prefer. Just like driving an automobile, there's a difference between an automatic, which is our Epic probe, and our Epic probe or stylus is fully automated. So instead of having to worry about the pressure, it's fully automated. You just place the stylus on the point and it takes the reading for you. Or you can use the manual stylus, which is a little bit smaller of a stylus, but you have to regulate the pressure like you would in changing gears on a stick shift in a manual car. We have two options. You first start in readings base. We want to always look at pre and post. How is your patient when they first come in? And then what balancing support or potential stressors affect this point. And your auto advance is on or off depending on if you want the machine to automatically move to the next point for you or you want to manually do it. You also have an option of designing whatever point list you want, so it's fully customizable to your office. Today we have the nutritional point list, which leads us to that chart of homotoxicology that Dr. John just showed you. When we open the system, we want to calibrate the machine by simply placing the stylus and the hand mass together to make sure it creates that circuit to 99. Once we do that, we're able to have the patient hold the hand mass in one hand, use the stylus to put on the point indicated on the screen, and it will record a reading up here in the right-hand corner under that point into the table. The max value is recording where on Vol's scale of 0 to 100 that health or balancing area is. The green area is balanced. Anything that shows above the line is inflammation, acute, stress, something that is probably current to the person today. Anything below the line is more of a chronic, degenerative, or weakened spot. Once you compile the 58 readings on the chart, you can then click on your max tab and very easily show the points from weakest to most inflamed or most inflamed to weakest. In this particular example, this person's lymphatic drainage of the nose and sinuses were the most inflamed, or the weakest, I'm sorry. And then we can also look at the area that is the most inflamed. So looking at triple warmer meridian, or in this case thymus, could also potentially be thyroid or parathyroid. So as John was saying, this is just one piece in the puzzle of what you're looking at, combining it with your intake, blood, saliva stool, or other tools that you use in your practice for an assessment. Once you've determined where your priorities are that you want to work on, you can then move from readings base into readings post, and you can lock in on that point, and you can look for your balancing support or what's stressing that area potentially out in the first place. You can click at the top on the nutritional box, which will bring you into the chart that you saw in the PowerPoint slide of the green, yellow, and red. So it shows the areas that are balanced, those that are kind of acute or stressed, and those areas that are weakened. The white areas are the body's reserves for healing and ability to continue to fight whatever they're dealing with. You have MBI and BRI scores. which are showing an overall health vitality or assessment, kind of a percentage of the amount that we're balanced versus non-balanced. If you're using specific product lines, you're also able to kind of click on the box just to see a guide of a particular product line and what maybe, instead of going to their catalog and seeing what products they have in their catalog that would be good for lymphatic drainage of the sinuses, you can click on the box and see the product line of the company you're working with and what their suggestions may be. So it's not picking out the protocol for you, but it's helping you with an electronic guide of what you might use. It also contains a database, an electronic database, where we can look for balances or stressors, and again, you can fully customize it to you. So it's very quick, easy, and as John said, those charts can track progress from visit to visit. And that's how that works. John, back to you.
Great, thank you, Michelle. So let me just turn over here the presentation back to myself. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go through our other system and show you the differences between the two. So the Bioscan SRT, and we like to say stress reduction for a healthier world, is our other software application. Now both software applications work off the same hardware called the Vantage. However, you do have the choice of which software application or both, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Most practitioners choose both. Now, the MSA is more geared towards the nutritional patient. The SRT is more geared towards stress reduction for a patient. And again, offices tend to choose both based on their practice and what they perform within their practice. So let's go through now the SRT. Whoops. So what is stress anyway? Well, stress in humans results from interactions between persons and their environment that are perceived as straining or exceeding their adaptive capacities and threatening their well-being. What is a stressor? A stressor is any biological, chemical, emotional, or physical substance or factor that can cause temporary or permanent harm. And we like to say, is stress weighing you down, right? Some of your patients look like this. Well, internal and external stressors have been scientifically proven to contribute to many symptoms and illnesses, including musculoskeletal disorders, frequent colds, headaches and migraines, digestive issues such as IBS and acid reflux, skin irritations such as psoriasis and eczema, depression, anxiety, sleep disorders, dependencies such as smoking, weight gain or weight loss, arthritis, allergies, heart and organ disease, and much, much more. In fact, anything that happens within your body that goes bad is typically associated with stress. Common stressors or examples would be emotional, such as marriage, death, or work; chemical, cigarette smoke or toxins; environmental, hay fever, grass, or food; as well as biological for cats or dust mites. So what is the Bioscan SRT? The Bioscan SRT system helps to identify those substances causing stress on the body, or stressors, and then it helps you balance your body's response so that future exposure to those substances no longer cause a stress reaction. Well, how does it work? Well, the Bioscan SRT system is based upon bioelectric or bioresonance principles that state that all substances, living or otherwise, possess a unique, measurable energetic resonance. Now, the Bioscan SRT, and this one is FDA, FDA registered Galvanic Skin Response and and biofeedback system. It represents with over 50,000 stressors in the proprietary database. Now, very important, the MSA and the SRT both work off the same stressors in the same database. However, they're not joined. So they are separate systems, but they use the same database. We also record the body's stress responses towards those stressors. Now, baseline parameters have been scientifically established for the response towards each stressor. Readings which fall outside of these parameters may indicate that the representative substance may be creating undue stress and possibly contributing towards health issues and symptoms that are currently being experienced. The Bioscan SRT system provides the patient and practitioner with a report of findings, and it indicates the substances and groups identified, the level of severity for each, and whether it's contributing towards a chronic or acute condition. The benefit of this is while the patient is getting tested, they can see, now the scale is different on the SRT than the MSA. The MSA's VOL scale is 0 to 100. The SRT's VOL scale is 0 to 200. It's a little bit expanded based on the stressors. But when the patient sees the stressors that are affecting them, you kind of have them like Jerry Maguire. You know, you had them at hello, because when they filled out a questionnaire, they may not have told you that certain things are affecting them. But when they appear on the test, as they are happening, they believe that this test is definitely working and very, very accurate, and they want to move forward with balancing. The Bioscan SRT utilizes the Bioscan SRT focus to transmit a series of stressors that are developed as a result of the biofeedback test and unique to each individual. These stressors are transmitted via the focus and laser light wand, tapping, arthrostim, or other means to various meridian points. So let me explain this to you. We focus these signals into the body with a little device called the focus that clips on the neck. We then put those signals back into the body, and we change the immune response towards those signals in many different ways. We provide you a class 3A laser, a red laser at 635 nanometers that you can use. We take it from the glabella over the spine 4 times, and then we place it over acupressure points throughout the body. We also can use tapping or an arthrostim or other means to the meridian points while the focus is working. So by testing these stressors with the body, again by using a red laser, tapping, meridian points, the Bioscan SRT helps to recalibrate the body's response so that future exposure to the corresponding substances now allows the biofeedback measurements and the body's reactions to fall within the acceptable parameters. Is it safe and effective? Yes. Again, just like the MSA, it's safe and effective for all adults and children of all ages. It's non-invasive, painless, contains no needles, shots, or medication. So we again make this a standard of care because we believe that all your patients have stress, so you should be performing this at every examination on every patient that comes in your clinic. Well, why? Well, because stress affects everyone, and everyone can potentially benefit from the Bioscan SRT system. The 100-point wellness check or inspection is built into the system for the initial patients. Now, what is the 100-point wellness system? Well, it takes under 10 minutes. It provides a complete report of findings indicating the items or stressors that are affecting the patient, and it's organized by severity and identified as acute or chronic. Now, let me explain how this works because it's different from the MSA. The MSA software uses a probe that goes over 58 points. The SRT uses 2 leads that go around the middle finger just below the knuckle on the allergy point. And that's the main portal into the body for acupuncture. Now, when we provide those leads onto that patient, we hook up directly into the system and we press start. And in 6 to 8 minutes, you have a complete health history of stressors that are affecting that patient. Typically, 70 to 80% of patients will request further testing of identified conditions. This means they want to get balanced. How many visits are needed? Well, improvement is generally seen after the first visit. The typical patient has between 5 to 7 visits, and the patients return every 3 months for preventative care by receiving another free 100-point wellness inspection. Well, why? Well, because stress affects the patient all the time. So if something new comes up, you want to catch it before it becomes a problem within the body. How long do the visits take? Well, the 100-point inspection takes under 10 minutes, and the Bioscan SRT visits take approximately 15 minutes. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to bring Michelle back, and she's going to go through a demonstration on this system as well. So let me just turn it over to Michelle. And Michelle is now going to show you the Bioscan SRT.
Great. Thanks again, John. Just like the MSA Bioscan home screen, when you open it up, you have a choice between new for a new visit today or open, which I've done today to demonstrate a visit already accomplished. You also have the opportunity opportunity to put the leads on, as John said, in a basic way, the overall point or this allergy 1R point, or in a more advanced intermediate way, you can select another point that you would want to pivot off of for scanning stressors. We also have the ability to come down into our electronic library and run what stressors we would like to ask. In the first visit, we want to run the body 100-point scan. We click that open and simply hit the scan button and click OK, and then we just start test. And as we start, it will record the readings for us. Once the readings are recorded over here on the right-hand side at the bottom, it'll show us the outcome. And we're looking for areas that are over 20 or less than -20. We can set the parameters of how many abnormal stressors we want to work at once, or we can just look at all the ones that are abnormal. It will highlight them for you, and then you can go up above and hit the process button. And it will move those things that were imbalanced or stressed into that process box, which you're then able to hit start processing as you're using the laser that Dr. John was talking about to go over the key points to help with the stress reduction. And that's how simple the Bioscan SRT can be. Let me show you a report. I almost forgot. We hit report and scan readings detail, and we can choose which order we would like them to be. Usually I put them in order from outcome, either ascending or descending. And then you can hit preview, and it will show you a report of the areas that were balanced. Blue would be chronic, black severely chronic, or acute or severely acute. And you have a simple, quick report that you can go ahead and print.
Great. Thank you very much, Michelle.
Back to you, John.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So let me just change the screen here and go back as presenter. Okay. Now, like we said, the systems are very, very different in nature. The SRT provides stress reduction therapy, and the MSA provides nutritional therapy. Now, the two combined give you the most powerful system on the planet. So a lot of practitioners say, well, why should I integrate both? Well, the MSA and SRT software systems together bridge the gap between nutritional support and stress reduction, providing more comprehensive solutions to everyday common health complaints. Patients are feeling better faster and seeing overall results quicker. And practitioners are obtaining more referrals and able to see more patients with the time saved as well as increasing revenue. And here's a little analogy. You know, just like a car needs both the proper fuel to run and a well-functioning mechanical and electrical system to get you where you want to go, so does your body. So if you have a properly working mechanical and electrical system but run out of gas, your car will not be able to function and take you where you want to go. So you take your car in to get periodic inspections to ensure that there are no safety issues or breakdowns in the mechanical and electrical systems. You do this because you know that just putting in the gas will ensure a car that gets you from here to there. So what we're saying is, not only do you need organ support via nutritionals, you also need to reduce the stress on the body. So most of our practitioners will combine the use of both systems. So some key points to remember: you're the practitioner guiding the process. The Bioscan MSA and Bioscan SRT are fully customizable. They give you more tools in your toolbox for the ideal patient care. So basically, when a patient comes in, you provide this as part of your exam process as a standard of care. And if you do this on every single patient, you will see an increase in revenue from the office visits as well as nutritional support. And we're here to provide ongoing and training and support. We include with your system a 2-day basic training class that certifies you on using your system. So the more training you obtain, the more ways you'll be able to successfully implement your device and get more people well while increasing profits in your practice. And like I said, there are basic and intermediate and advanced ways to utilize each software and both together. So for more information, you can contact us at 801-889-2224. You can email us at sales@ihtbio.com. You can also visit our website at www.ihtbio.com, and we have product and financing applications available. You can also go on to Discount Medical Supplies as well as Discount Chiropractic Supplies for more information as well.